Well, good evening, Spirit and Truth Sanctuary, and happy Wednesday to everyone. Hope you're having a joyful, peaceful, happy day today. Wonderful Wednesday to everybody. This is the day the Lord has made. We all came to rejoice, to be glad in it. We are going to do our day of devotion. Today is April the 12th, and if you have your Fully Awake 365 devotion, grab it real quickly if you'd like to. Today's devotion is called The Gifts of Imperfection. We are once again in the month of April. April is the month of transformation. And as we watch the flowers budding and the birds chirping and the pollen hopefully almost on its way out. Maybe one more rain and we'll be done with the pollen, who knows. But this is a month of transformation. And so as we see the world, the natural world transforming around us, coming alive, there's also an inner transformation. There's a spiritual transformation that we can experience. Today's teaching is called The Gifts of Imperfection. I think we'll go back to page 4 and go ahead and grab our prayer of surrender for tonight. Come on, let's read our prayer of surrender. Spirit of truth, carry me where you will. Bring to me what you will. Take from me what you will. Awaken in me what you will. The Christ man is around me. The Christ mind is in me. The Christ power flows through me. And the Christ mystery exists as me. I believe it. I perceive it. And now I receive it. I am surrendered. Amen. And so it is. All right, let's jump back to April 12th. And we're in the Gifts of Imperfection. Let's read our affirmation at the very top. It says, today, I will bravely own my story. I will accept myself, my imperfections, and my uniqueness. I will find the courage to be vulnerable, honest, and open. So some of you remember we actually went through Brene Brown's book, The Gifts of Imperfection, I guess about a year ago, somewhere in there, a year and a half ago, something like that. And we discovered some amazing gifts that we thought were false, that we thought were failures, that in essence were being used, what we thought was an imperfection was being used as transportation into another level of connectivity, interconnectedness, and awakeness. And so let's read at the very top of the beginning of the devotion. It says, what if all things actually somehow work together for our good, even our imperfections? What about that? We all experience a binary of reality. We are spiritual beings made in the image and likeness of divinity, and yet we are in the material world in human form, learning, at times struggling, even falling and failing, to navigate our divinity in a way that creates the life we desire. Isn't that a beautiful reshaping of the working definition of sin that religion carries with it? Sin is somehow falling beneath the mark. Whose mark? God's mark? What is God's mark? Well, what God said to Moses? That's not what Jesus said. He said, you've heard of old, but I say. And so we have to be very cautious that we don't ascribe marks, lines of demarcation, goal setting, as if we know the mind of God. What we do know is we know our inner divinity. And so as we begin to embark on the awakening process to our own divine creativity, we really are sinning more against ourselves than we are against God. And so once we realize we're divine, not living in righteousness, peace, joy, happiness, fulfillment, connectedness, openness, those are not sins necessarily against God. They're sins against our own nature. And so God really doesn't care about you having a drink or seeing a movie or saying a cuss word or looking at another beautiful person. I don't think that God is all that upset about it. I think the universe judges us on what we think and how we translate and transmute our emotions into our bodies at a cellular level. And so I encourage you just to kind of redefine what this idea of sin is when we talk about imperfections. Embracing our missteps and mistakes along the path of awakening is how we recover quickly, heal open wounds, and evolve. Allowing ourselves to be mired in the swamp of shame and the sludge of guilt stunts our growth and hinders the realization of meaningful relationships. So, one key element to meaningful relationships is vulnerability. being able to be vulnerable about your fears, your insecurities, your missteps, your mistakes, and that somehow brings us closer together. We become more human. We become more empathetic, more compassionate to one another, even in our interpersonal familial friendships and relationships. It's important to be vulnerable with each other and to know that that's going to bring us a new level of closeness. All right, look at the second paragraph. When we own our stories, we tap into the courage to share our pain. Pain we have both endured and created. And if you don't realize that you've done both, welcome to reality. You have endured pain and you have created pain. That is what it is. And so as Jesus was on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. He could have easily said, Father, forgive me. I have done some things that I didn't know. I was trapped in culturalism, tribalism. We should all say that. Mother, Father, Spirit God, forgive those who hurt me. They're operating out of ignorance. And forgive me as I either ignorantly or sometimes in a lower vibration cause pain to others. We have been hurt and we have hurt people. If you don't think you've hurt someone, you maybe have caused the deepest hurt because you're still in denial about your missteps. We accept ourselves and also open a door to connect with others in a deep and purposeful way. Have you ever told an embarrassing story and had someone respond, I thought I was the only one? This type of connection is only made possible through vulnerability and authenticity. And in a sense, here it is, the mistakes that led to this openness operate as gifts of imperfection. So when we live in shame, secrecy, and sorrow, we live in a lie that disallows our true self, our organic vibration, to attract our tribe, our people, and our family. Doesn't that make a lot of sense? Yeah, one of the ways that you attract, your vibe attracts your tribe is when you become vulnerable, open, willing to connect. When we shy away, when we are always playing games with our role playing, we really don't attract our true circle of the people that we're supposed to be connected to. And so encourage you tonight to be vulnerable, to be open, to share your story, to heal from it as you see others healing from it, and to know that even in those missteps and mistakes, there are gifts of imperfection called closeness, vulnerability, empathy, compassion. Those are all wonderful gifts of imperfection. All right, very bottom, let's read our prayer together. Here we go. Authentic Spirit, grant me the courage to be vulnerable, the compassion to be empathetic, and the candor to connect. Amen. And so it is. I wrote that day of devotion because I taught Brene Brown's Gifts of Imperfection for probably a year. And it was a beautiful day, a beautiful writing. It was an easy organic writing. All right, we will connect again with our daily devotion, our Fully Awake 365 on Friday morning at 7 a.m. Looking forward to seeing everybody at that time.